This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important updates to share with you. Trump warns the GOP to not cut Social Security and Medicare. I'll give you details on what's going on there. President Biden actually has a different plan for Social Security. When it comes to stimulus, watch the mail because you could get your stimulus check taxed if you received it in 2022. And Americans can apply now for direct payments between $250 and $975. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, Trump to GOP, don't cut Medicare, Social Security, and debt ceiling fight. So I mentioned this the other day that the GOP, they're planning on cutting or doing something when it comes to Medicare and Social Security, and now Trump is stepping in saying don't do that. This is all regarding the debt ceiling fight. So as of Thursday, the U.S. has reached its debt ceiling limit, meaning that the U.S. has maxed out its credit card, and what next? Either we get a higher limit or we have to pay back, or a few other options here. So part of it is the Democrats want to increase the limit. If that's going to happen, the Republicans want to make some cuts. So under no circumstances should Republicans vote to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security, Trump said in a video message posted on Truth Social. Trump, who is running for president in 2024, said Republicans should instead focus on ending left-wing programs from our military and billions being spent on climate extremism. Cut waste, fraud, and abuse everywhere that we can find it, and there is plenty of it. But do not cut benefits our seniors worked for and paid for their entire lives. Save Social Security, don't destroy it. Well said. I think probably any senior, regardless of party, would agree with that. If you've dedicated decades of your life to the economy, why should you have your Social Security benefits cut? So this is kind of what former President Trump is saying here. It kind of undermines McCarthy, who is the Speaker of the House, who planned on cutting or doing some type of cuts to what they call entitlement programs, which is Social Security, Medicare. We don't know exactly what yet, but this is big because now if anyone undermines the potential presidential candidate for the Republican Party, it kind of, it's kind of like he's putting down his foot here. So let me know your thoughts on what former President Trump said there. President Biden has a different plan. Joe Biden's Social Security plan is to tax the rich. Will it work? Well, excuse me. I feel like for years, everybody's been saying tax the rich. There's a new tax plan for the rich, but then somehow the rich find a new loophole to get around the taxes. So the rich have designed this whole money system in general. They're going to get richer and richer no matter what law is in place. The rich people are the ones who are paying off all the politicians to keep them rich. So is this going to work? I don't know. Social Security, taxing the rich, higher taxes, probably the lower rich people, yes, but the elites, the ultra billionaires, probably not. Probably won't affect them at all. But probably millionaires and millionaires to like 100 millionaires, maybe this might work. Would taxing high-earning workers more put Americans' top retirement program on a firmer foundation? So they're saying if this happens, then Social Security may not be insolvent by 2035. It may or may not work. It also depends on the tax plan, if it's good enough, because the rich people have a lot of money to hire lawyers to figure out loopholes to those tax systems. Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to stimulus update, watch the mail to see if your 2022 stimulus check will be taxed. Many states sent stimulus checks in 2022. In some cases, these payments will be reported to the IRS. If your state sends you a 1099, you could end up owing taxes on the money, which to me makes no sense. If the state has so much extra tax money, a surplus, then they decide to send money to its citizens, it's like, hey, here's tough times, here's a $500 check. We've seen them as high as $1,000 checks. I think even some had like a $2,000 check, state stimulus checks. Then you have to be taxed again. They take the money back. I feel like the stimulus check should just be tax-free. But state stimulus payments could be considered taxable income. So when the federal government sent out stimulus checks, the checks were advances on tax credits. Excuse me. So how will you know if your state stimulus money was taxable? The IRS is going to send you a 1099 miscellaneous form in the mail. These are issued for income valued at $600 or more. So if your stimulus check was $600 or more, you may get a 1099 in the mail, so be aware of that. And then Americans can now apply for direct payments between $250 and $975. When will the money be sent by? Pennsylvania's property tax and rent rebate is available to older and disabled residents in 2023, and the application opened this week. So if you live in Pennsylvania, you're a senior or disabled, SSDI. What the governor said here is by boosting the amount of recipients get this year, we're helping older Pennsylvanians with disabilities deal with inflation, higher prices while staying in their homes. So if you think you qualify, go to the Pennsylvania website and apply for that. Those who meet the income guidelines are eligible for the payments as long as they are 65 years or older, a widower, age 50 or over, or an adult with a disability. So let me know, should this type of plan be used for other people around the country? Should other states do this, paying out between up to $975 for those rebates? And then 5 ways a debt limit crisis could derail the U.S. economy. So we have reached our debt limit. I'll go over these 5 really quick. So rising recession risks because of what happened with the economy or with the debt ceiling. We could have that recession that they've all been talking about, global financial crisis, because the U.S. credit rating goes low. We could go in default. And the U.S. currency is really powerful around the world, and so it could cause other countries' economies to crash as well. Americans could lose crucial federal benefits, so some Republicans want to cut Social Security and Medicare to help out with this debt ceiling crisis. And then higher interest rates. Yeah, interest rates are already high. They could go higher because of this. And then falling public trust. Not that the public trusts Congress or the government much in general, but it could get even worse. Here's the Republican perspective right here.
Let's welcome back to the show from House Financial Services, Congressman Bill Huizenga. It's good to see you, Congressman, and also Economic Pro Mitch Rochelle. Thank you, gentlemen, both, for spending time with us this Friday night. All right, so just a housekeeping, a point of order. It's $8.1 trillion, Congressman, since the pandemic that's been added to the nation's balance sheet. That number is just about France, Germany, and Italy combined. So, Congressman, when are the White House and Democrats going to get the wake-up call that the San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank pointed out, that this spending added 3 percentage points to the U.S. inflation rate?
Well, I guess when you're a radical Keynesian, everything looks like a spending opportunity. So I'm not sure that they ever think that there's enough spending that is going on. And, interestingly enough, Liz, as you were talking about that number, here's the thing. The first bill that we dealt with when we were going into this COVID crisis, it was a bipartisan bill. And people were warning it. Once we pierced that threshold of $1 trillion with a T, we were never going to be able to turn back. And that now is the new measurement about whether you care or whether you actually are concerned about what's happening in the economy. After that first initial bill, which was a massively bipartisan bill, we saw the Democrats and the Democrats alone just go on a drunken sailor kind of spending binge. And here's the result. Yeah. And that's a huge problem. Now they want me and us as a Republican majority to pay for their spending.
So here's the thing to what the congressman just said, Mitch. You and I, we've talked about this. The inflation is igniting layoffs, recession. We've got companies pointing this out in earnings calls. So why are we still doing massive pandemic level spending when the president said the pandemic is over?
To the point that the congressman made, they're on a tear. We can spend because we can. It's what they've been chomping at the bit to do. But Liz, because of inflation, the Fed has had to raise interest rates. And by the Fed raising interest rates, the national debt is going up sort of exponentially, right, because we don't have the current cash flow to pay that debt when it's due. So what are we doing? We're borrowing money to pay interest on money we borrowed. It's a vicious cycle.
That's the point. I mean, let's listen to the president. He's going to tout hiring more IRS workers and agents, but he's not talking about spending cuts. Watch this.
You know, all these new IRS agents we have is because they fired a lot of them and a lot of retiring. And guess what? Who needs serious agents to know what they're doing and not doing? The billionaires, the multi-millionaires.
Where could money get cut? I mean, is it looking into the defense budget? I mean, the Pentagon's budget, which by all accounts is a black hole with tons of money that, you know, for classified reasons or other reasons just doesn't get publicly accounted for?
You know, that's a conversation that we should have around budget time when we talk about what's on the table and what isn't, and there will be a good time to have that talk.
What is he talking about budget time? Congress has not delivered a budget on time since 1996. There is no budget time. I mean, and by the way, House Ways and Means Joint Committee found taxpayers under $400,000, even under $200,000 a year, Congressmen, are going to get audited.
Absolutely. You know, I'm glad Joe is cuddling up on the Chesterfield, listening to the wireless down there in Delaware. But it's not the real news that he's listening to. And here, the simple fact is this is not going to be just millionaires and billionaires. Let's get in on the little secret like he did. It's going to hit the middle class and small business owners.
Yeah, and
so
by the way,
that's what we're.
And by the way, to your point, what Mitch, what the congressman is saying, the millionaires and billionaires can afford lawyers to fight against the IRS. The middle class and lower class can't, right? And, you know, the president, we spent a lot on Obamacare. Look at what Gallup is saying, Mitch. Gallup is now finding more than half the nation still say health care is poor after all that blowout spending. But I know the congressman wants to talk about this, but they're focusing on things like banning gas-powered stoves. You know what I mean, Mitch?
They're looking at all the wrong things. First of all, I don't know who fired these IRS agents, and I've spent a career working with the ultra rich on tax structures that are completely legal. So the only way you're going to get more money out of the tax rolls is to go to the little guys.
Yeah. And
what are your thoughts? Are things going to get a lot worse when it comes to the debt ceiling crisis? Do you think Social Security, Medicare will be cut? Let me know your thoughts on all of that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my Doorbell's tip of the day.
Oh, sorry guys, I didn't see them. Can I tell you something? What I want to do is go to the moon. I need to go to the moon. Never mind. What do you want? Tell me in the comments below and see what you want. If you want to do something, then accomplishment. Do what you want, because that after you get too old to not do what you want. Oh, bye. The moon. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. Have some family coming in town this weekend, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to film a video for tomorrow, but definitely Monday, so stay tuned for that. Gonna have some good family time. Looking forward to it. Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend. If you want to check out any of my other videos, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.